Hey, what's up guys? Team Our Life Captain Albright here, and today we've actually got the reel that y'all saw the video where it had exploded in the line.
Gotta bite. I think I got a lot of stress on my mind. It's a nice day to go. Yeah, I got a line. I'ma call the whole team.
And a little bit more of it was the gentleman was casting out and accidentally caught the pier, and as he swung forward, it stopped him immediately, and it his momentum carried him forward, and he ends up blowing it up. So that's what caused the backlash. Now, when I was going through the line, I found several frays in the line. So the importance of this whole deal with the video and me showing you that was multiple things. One was, by using the hollow core braid, I was able to get all the line out. Even though y'all saw how bad that was, I was still able to do it in a very minimal amount of time, just by working it out. The other thing was, for number two, is that because it wasn't monofilament, that it was braid, that means there's no line memory. So what we mean by that, if y'all don't understand, is with braid, I mean, you can mix it up or whatever, and it's all kinked up or whatever, but you can pull it right out. So there's no kinks, there's nothing there, because it doesn't remember anything. Now, if you did that with mono, try that again. But just the way I spun the other line right there, if you try to take this out, you can see all the kinks in the line, and these little edges there. There's one here, there's one there, and yeah, that's about it, because I just did a small area. But when you backlash, you kink the line in such a way that it makes it almost impossible for you to keep casting out, because you got that kink in the line. And that's basically what it ends up happening, is that kink right there, as it starts to unravel on the cast, it hits the main line going out, and it stops the whole cast right there. So that's another positive reason of why we use hollow core for casting. Another thing, which will be our third reason, the frays. Now I'm going to show you why. The reason being, because when I get to a fray, let me get to one real quick, because it's right there, I can see it. Maybe it's a few reps in. Okay, and actually he's got one right here, and one a little further down. So if this was monofilament, you have frays like this, what you would end up doing is you would cut that and you would lose it. Now with the hollow core, we are going to cut it, but I'm going to show you how we're going to save it in the long run. Alright, so as you can see, that fray's pretty bad there, and there's one here. Now here's the trick on when you want to do. Cut that fray, and then, so I've cut my frays out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert the needle right here into one side. And now I'm going to go in about, 10, 12 inches or so. You can go further if you want, but there's really no need to go that crazy into it. So I'm in, and I'm going to pull my line through. Ooh, and actually, look, you can see another fray right there. So let me go and do this and pull it through, because this is a reverse latch needle, so I need to get it all the way through first. Okay. Yeah. And when I open it up, I found another fray right there. So what you want to do before you start trying to splice all these in If you got a fray within, you know, a few feet or a few yards, you may make the choice to cut out that whole section. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. I'm going to do some further inspections of the line and see if I have another fray like I do here. Right, so as I'm coming further in, I found another fray, and it's about 6 foot into it. And this is actually a burn from the backlash. So you want to kind of check your line to see if you have any more that are short distance away. Because if they are, then it's easier to cut out, you know, a 5 or 6 foot piece with a bunch of nits in it than to do 5 or 6 different splices. So I'm going to knock that out real quick. And that's on my casting in there. And while I'm looking in here, I know when I took this line down, there was a fray deep in there. So what I'll do is I'm going to fix this splice right here, and I'm going to continue going in. And granted, I'm not doing it on the spool machine just because I want to show that you can do this at your house. You don't have to have a machine to spool it, you know, or do your corrections if you have the proper tool. The proper tool is the needles for doing the hollow core splicing. And they are Daho needles, which you can buy direct from them, or you can give us a call here and we can get them shipped out to you. So I'm going to insert on one side. Alright, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to insert on one side. Like I said, you know, you're going to go at 8 to 10, 12 inches in. And then you pull the needle out so you can come out. And then you'll clip into this side. Because this is actually a reverse latch needle right here. See that little latch open up? I'm closing it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push my line over it and pull this line through, which I've done just like that. Now I want to get my tag in to be right at the edge of my opening right there. And once it's there, I'm going to lock it in, tighten up my line going back the opposite way. I'm going to do that a couple of times just to make sure it's good and locked down. Now on the opposite side, I'm going to repeat the process. I'm going to insert my needle into the main line and tow my tag line in there. And when you do this section, try to give yourself a little bit of a gap there from the tag end. And the reason being, if you put it too close, hold on just a second, let me get this line on there. Okay, if you put it too close to here, what you're going to be trying to do is to suck that end up into your line, and that's not what you want. You want to give yourself a little bit of gap so that way it pulls it through and ends up on the other side. And there we go. So I've got my latch through, got my line in, and you can see that little bit of a braid loop there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come from this side and suck it up. So now what I've done is I've closed the gap between the two braids. When they crossed over, I don't want a big old loop, I want a small one. So from the center that I got it closed out, I'm going to pull this way to the right and to your left, and again, and one more time. So now you've seen that I've done my connection point right there with no knot. So that's where the hollow core is going to save you money, because you are no longer throwing away any of your braid other than truly damaged sections. and or your top shots. You're not going to be throwing that away. You're going to be using it and reusing it and reusing it until it's literally too far on. But let's see how much further we're going to go. So now that I've got that one, I'm going to go a little bit further. See, there's a burn right there, and you can see it because it's starting to flare out. So that's one that I'll want to fix. So I'm going to check on both sides and see if I have any short distance away from it, so that way I can just cut out that one bad section. Now here's the cool part. Since this is the only bad section right there, you can actually cut right in the middle of it and use that as your tag end piece right there, because once you get past that burn mark, all the rest of the line is still good. It's all right. So I'm going to insert there, and hide that burn mark, so that way I'm not throwing away. So basically I'm not losing too much yardage while I'm doing all these fixes. So again, I'm going to insert onto one side. And then I'll go to the other. And pull it through. Close this loop out. Repeat the process. So once you get used to using your needles, you'll be able to go through this and do this very quickly, which will, again, by using the hollow core braid, you can end up saving yourself a lot of money in the long run for these three reasons right there. You know, there's no kinks, there's no line memory, and then two, it's repairable. So that's the beautiful thing. And right here, this is 100-pound test that he was casting with. If you were to try that with 100-pound mono, you would not get that distance, for one. Two, the line capacity. And then three, again, it gets frayed, the line is done. And right there, right in front of you, I've recreated the knot and done. So let's continue going down the furthest, or continue going down into the spool, and knock it out real quick. Alright, so gotten back to the clean spool line right there. So, and again, since it was just the top end of where he's casting, this line does not have to be completely tight for it to be able to work out. So by doing it by hand, which I've just showed you can do, again, this is going to save you a lot of money. Again, like that, see how that's all tight? If that was a kind of mono, it'd been over. That kink would have been ended your casting ability right there. And since it's the braid, it's gone. So that's going to be your best friend right there. And again, like I said, you really don't need the needle to do that end of the line loop. What I've been doing is just tie it over once, and then I bring it through twice, and that's been my end of the line knot, so that way I can attach my leaders. And it's been working out just fine. So again, this is Team Hard Life Captain Albert Zertucci, showing you several more reasons why going with straight braid, if you're casting on your reels, with a hollow core braid, mind you, why it's going to save you money in the long run. 3 different ways. So again, guys, this is Team Hard Life. Thanks for watching, and please, if you haven't subscribed, and turned on your notifications, you're missing out, guys. We got a lot of info, and it's all because of the things we run into with our customers. So now, anytime something new comes up or something I can share with y'all, I'm going to do a video and I'm going to post it out. So stay tuned, actually, too, because we finally got some 80-pound solid braid in, and we're going to do some spooling videos on it. So stay tuned.